When you're ready, come to your mat and sit in child's pose. Allow your hips to be heavy on your feet. Bring your arms alongside your body with your palms facing up. And allow the space between the eyebrows to melt gently into the floor. Begin to draw breaths in and out through your nose, watching the belly expand into the top of the legs. And as you exhale, allowing the hips to get heavier on your feet. Maybe on your next exhale, you like to draw the abdominals in, and then watch the breath as it moves into your body and up into your heart, expanding the shoulder blades. As you exhale, bring your hands forward and gently walk your hands over towards the left, extending through the right arm as far as comfortable for you this morning, gently reaching through the fingertips and breathing into that right side body, opening up the space underneath the armpit, in the back of the shoulder, even into your obliques, while you keep your right hip point down on your feet. On your next inhale, you'll inhale, bring your hands over to the right, gently walking your left hand a little bit further than your right hand. Starting to stretch through that left side body, just getting warmed up. Breathing into the left shoulder area, the left side body, while you keep the hip plugged down towards your feet. On your next inhale, gently bring your hands back to center. Take an exhale. And then as you inhale, come forward into tabletop. We'll start with a few rounds of cat-cow here. As you inhale, allowing the belly to drop, the chin to lift, the gaze to lift, shoulders roll away from the ears. And as you exhale, tuck the chin in, draw the abdominals up, and round your back. Inhaling, coming forward, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. Lifting the gaze as you exhale, pressing your hands into the mat, filling the shoulder blades, arching the spine and drawing the abdominals in. Following this pattern of movement for a couple breaths if you'd like. Otherwise, getting some organic movement into your body as you begin your practice. Maybe moving from side to side, circling the hips left to right. Maybe taking the shoulders a bit further over the wrists to warm up the wrist space. All noticing your breath and keeping the jaw soft, watching as the breath travels in and out through your nose. Coming back to center, on your inhale, gently lift your right arm up towards the sky. And as you exhale, you're going to sweep your right arm underneath your left arm and hook your right shoulder on the mat, placing your right ear on the ground. With your left hand still pressing into the mat, draw your right hip back in space to even out your hips and sacrum, and then breathe up into that upper right shoulder. Allow the breath to reach the shoulder, the clavicle, the collarbone, even towards your neck, taking deep breaths into that shoulder space, allowing the breath to make its movement and opening a little bit of space in your shoulder. On your next inhale, sweep your right arm up, coming back to center as you exhale. And on your next inhale, sweep the left arm up towards the sky. And then exhale, sweep the arm underneath the body, hooking the left arm on the mat. Maybe here you'd like to work with stacking your hands on top of each other, but continue drawing the left hip forward, the right hip back, keeping your sacrum in an even plane, and watching the breath as it travels up into the shoulder, gently moving and creating little bits of space with each inhale. Each exhale sinking a little bit heavier into that shoulder, allowing the stretch to evolve. Continuing your breath here, bring your hand back towards your face if it's not there already, and then on your inhale, sweep your left arm back up towards the sky, opening up the side body, and then left hand down. With an inhale, sweep your left foot between the hands. Keep your right knee down towards the ground. Coming into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Just going to work on the psoas muscle here for a moment. If it's the morning for you, this muscle tends to get very tight during sleep. So it's one of my favorite things to start opening up in the morning, is just getting into a low lunge, allowing the hips to sink towards the heel, and drawing the abdominals in for a deeper stretch if that's right for you. Maybe now, as the stretch begins to move, if you'd like to come up to your fingertips and deepen, allow the hips to continue staying heavy. The front of the pelvis is staying heavy towards the left heel. Keep the shoulders rolled away from the ears as you draw a breath in and out through your nose. And then maybe you'd like to bring your hands, crossing your forearms on your knees, with a little bit of weight resting in your elbows. Your right hip, the right psoas muscle, is just sinking down towards the floor. Getting deeper and deeper as you keep the abdominals drawn in. Make the breath travel all the way up your spine into your heart, opening your chest and allowing the shoulders to roll back and down as you keep the crown of the head lifted. Excellent. From here, maybe keep your left forearm on your elbow as you push your left knee forward, and then take an inhale, lift your right arm up towards the sky. With that dual motion, you're sending your left kneecap forward, your left leg, and your right hip is sinking down towards the mat. With your right arm extended, if it's comfortable for you, maybe you want to take the arm over your ear and lean over to the left a little bit, bringing your hands to a block or to the floor. And if that's not right for you, keep your elbow or forearm of your left arm on your left knee and continue that stretch there. Taking an inhale, extend your arm back up towards the sky, maybe reach up, look up, and then as you exhale, bring your right hand down to the ground. Settling here for a moment, moving side to side in your hips and your psoas, noticing the space that's opened up. And then take a deep inhale. As you exhale, press back, straighten your left leg, and come into a runner's lunge. So your right knee is still on the ground. Either right toes can be tucked or untucked for balance. And continue working on straightening that left leg as you lengthen the crown of the head forward, lengthening the heart forward. Maybe you're on your fingertips or on blocks. As you exhale, keep a long, flat spine and fold onto that left leg. Drawing the toes back towards your face will change the stretch into your shin and maybe the back of your leg. If that's something you feel like working with, explore your body as you breathe gently. Each exhale working on getting a little bit longer. Each exhale sinking into that knee a little bit deeper. Good. Draw the left hip back in space as the right hip continues to shine forward. Exhale, fold in a little bit deeper. So now really watching the breath. As you inhale, you're taking minute, lengthening motions forward. And as you exhale, you're sinking in a little bit deeper as you draw that left hip back. Draw the toes towards your face. Continuing to watch the breath. As you inhale, walk your hands forward a little bit and then take your left foot and walk it over towards the right edge of the mat as you allow your left knee to come to the left edge of the mat, Pigeon Pose. So, to keep your knee safe, we want to watch out for any knee pain by bringing your foot down towards your body. You can lessen any pain on the knee. And then sinking deeply into your hips here. If this is not enough for you, you're welcome to bring your left foot more towards the top of your mat, making your shin parallel towards the top of the mat and sinking in here. We want to work on rolling our right frontal hip point down towards the ground. As we sink a little bit deeper into our left hip, draw the breath directly into your left hip space. As you exhale, sink a little bit deeper. You're welcome to rest your head on your hands or on the mat. Continuing to watch the breath. If this is a little bit uncomfortable for you and you feel like you need to come up a little bit higher, you can place a block or a blanket underneath your left hip to give yourself some space. And then walk your hands back up and keep your body perpendicular to the floor. So finding what space is right for you this morning. Whether your hip is open enough to lay on the floor or you need to prop yourself up with a block or a blanket, it's all fine. Just breathing into that hip space, drawing deep breaths down into the abdomen, deep exhales drawing the abdomen in, sinking a little bit deeper into that left hip. If you'd like to work on your exhale, keeping the abdominals drawn in, and then as you inhale into the heart, even lengthening forward just a little bit more, rolling that right hip point down towards the ground as you draw your left hip point back, sinking deeper. Notice how the stretch changes when you keep the abdominals drawn in as you breathe. And then on your next inhale, gently walk your hands back and bring your body up. So the heart is lifted, the chest is puffed out. Being careful for any pain on your left knee, bringing the foot closer to the body if you're feeling any pain. And then gently lean over towards your left hip as you sweep your right foot forward. You're going to bring your right foot across your body, right foot underneath your left leg and your left foot on top of your right knee. So we're coming into a double pigeon here. If this is a bit too much for you, just start with your left foot in front of your right shin. Remove any flesh that's underneath the sit bones, and then inhale, lengthen the heart. And as you exhale, fold in over those crossed legs. And if you are working with double pigeon this morning, being careful and mindful of any sensation that's uncomfortable in your knees. Flex your feet strongly and intensely as they sit on top of your knees or below. And then continuing to lengthen forward, really working deeply on that left hip. Continuing to draw the breath in through the nose, softening the jaw. As you exhale, working with the abdominals and drawing the abdominals in and drawing the breath up into the heart as you inhale. And as you exhale, sinking a little bit deeper into that left leg. Each inhale is a gentle lengthening forward. Each exhale is a slow, soft closing into yourself. Maybe you can bring your head down towards the mat. And then on your next inhale, gently walk yourself back up. Create some more space. Notice how your hips are this morning, what's opened. Remove any flesh that's crept underneath your sit bones, and then gently walk yourself forward one more time. As you lean forward, continuing to draw the abdomen in. Watch the breath as it expands the heart, and notice how the stretch changes. On your next inhale, gently come back up to seated. As you exhale, you are going to push your left knee on top of your right knee and come into Gomukhasana, cow face pose. So again, if this is a little bit tight for you, you're welcome to prop yourself up on a block or a blanket And you want to stack the left knee directly on top of the right knee, and then begin to walk your feet forward towards the top of the mat. Even if it's just an inch, this will start to really increase the outward rotation of your hip bones. From here, you're going to inhale your arms out to the sides. Then you're going to turn your left palm back and reach your left hand up your back. As you inhale, lift your right arm up towards the sky and bring your right hand down your back to meet your left hand. You're welcome to grab your strap here or grab the shirt. If it's comfortable and this is enough for you, you're welcome to stay upright. Otherwise, take a deep inhale, allow the heart to expand, and as you exhale, gently sink forward, working into that left hip. Draw the abdominals in. Take your next breath with the abdominals drawn in up into your heart. Allow your heart to expand as your right armpit starts to roll down towards the ground. Excellent. On your next inhale gently, come back up. As you release your hands, flex your fingers as much as you possibly can and open up your arms wide. As you bring your arms, you're going to cross your elbows in front of your body with the left elbow on top of your right. And working on that double wrap, if you can bring your palms together. And then with the left hand on top of the right eagle arms, you're going to bring your elbows in towards your body as you bring your hands away from your face. Gently curling the neck, rolling the neck and the chin down. Breathing into the lat space of the upper back. Continuing to reach the fingertips away from the face. Inhale, bring the arms back up to center. And gently release. From here, you can roll over your knees. Gently coming back to tabletop. And then extending your legs one by one back towards plank pose. So we'll sit in plank pose for just a moment, just changing the energy as you extend through your heel points, lengthen through the crown of the head, fill up the shoulders and the back of the neck. Soften the hips down as you squeeze the abdominals in. Take an inhale. As you exhale, press back, downward facing dog. Good. Maybe pedal out your legs here. Bending one knee, straightening the other. And then when you're ready, settle into downward facing dog. Pressing the hands into the mat, roll your elbow points underneath the body to open up the shoulders. Release the head down towards, release the neck so the head melts down. And then when you're ready, take an inhale and sweep your right foot between your hands. Settle your left knee down towards the mat, coming into Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Working with that left hip point, we're allowing the left hip point to sink deeper towards the right ankle, the right heel. Hands are on a block or flat on the mat, and if you'd like to, you can even come up to fingertips. Keep the shoulders rolled away from the ears and lengthen through the crown of the head. Draw your abdominals in and allow the breath to come up into the heart. As you exhale, sink that left hip point down towards the ground. Good. Really working on that stretch in the psoas muscle, the top of the quadricep. As you inhale, lengthening, rolling the shoulders away from the ears. As you exhale, sinking that left hip point down towards the ground. Work on keeping the abdominals drawn in if you'd like to go deeper in the stretch. If this is comfortable for you, you're welcome to stay here. Continuing to draw the breath in and out through the nose. When you're ready, bring your forearms up on your right knee and extend your right leg forward. Or extend the left, by pressing on the flesh of the right leg, you extend the right knee forward. And then allow the hips to continue sinking down towards the mat. Continue rolling the shoulders away from the ears. And if you'd like to keep your right elbow on your right knee, inhale, lift your left arm up over your ear and gently lean over towards your right. So a hand can come down to the mat or a block, or you can keep your forearm on your right knee, extending the right knee forward. If your left arm is up, keep your abdominals drawn in as you stretch your left side body. Allow the hip point to continue sinking down towards the mat. Take a deep inhale, lift your left arm up, and as you exhale, left arm down towards the mat. Coming back into the low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Just roll on your kneecap, roll the hips from right to left. Allow the right knee to come out to the right a little bit, and then back to the left, kind of circling the hips out, noticing the space that you've created. And then when you're ready, you're gently going to walk your hands back, beginning to press into the right foot and straightening the right leg. As you straighten the right leg, if you want to pick up your toes and draw your toes back towards your face so you're in a runner's lunge. Right leg is completely straight, left knee is bent, left toes are either tucked or the top of the foot is on the floor. Draw the right hip back in space. As you inhale, lengthen the crown of the head forward, lengthen the heart forward, and then as you exhale, sink in over that right leg. Excellent. Noticing where the stretch is at this moment, draw a breath directly into that space, allowing the breath to expand your muscles, expand the stretch. As you exhale, sink in a little bit deeper. Good. Continuing, as you inhale, to lengthen gently forward. As you exhale, you fold in. Continue drawing the right hip back as the left hip point shines forward. As you exhale, keep the abdominals drawn in and then take that breath directly into the heart. Softening the elbows to sink in a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen over that right leg. Exhale, sink deeper into your stretch. Excellent. Allowing the breath to fill up that area that you feel a little bit of tension in. Watching how the breath expands the muscle little by little. Maybe walk your hands forward a little bit more to create more space, more balance as you extend forward. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, you're going to walk your right foot over towards the left edge of your mat, coming into Pigeon Pose. Right knee is on the right edge of the mat. And then if there's any pain here, or if your hips are very tight, you can place a block or a bolster or a stack of books underneath your right hip and just prop yourself up for a moment and let your hip get used to this. If you're comfortable with Pigeon Pose, working your foot and your shin towards parallel with the mat, and exhale, sink in a bit deeper. So we want to keep awareness on any pain or uncomfortable sensations in the right knee. If there is any pain and you're down in Pigeon Pose, bring your foot closer towards your body. Draw the right hip point, the right hip back as you allow the left hip point to roll forward. So you might even feel a stretch here on the front of the psoas, but where we're mostly feeling it might be the lower back, but definitely into that outer right hip. Keep that foot flexed as your head rests on your hands or on the mat. Maybe walking the hands forward if that's comfortable for you this morning. And if you're in Pigeon Pose and you have some props and you're just sitting upright, that's totally fine, allowing the body to get used to this structure. Continuing to breathe into the heart. As you exhale, allow the abdominals to stay drawn in. If you're down in pigeon pose, maybe on your inhale, you walk your elbows a little bit forward and lengthen that spine a little bit more forward, going deeper into that right hip, watching how the stretch evolves, watching your mind, noticing anything that comes up. Maybe even taking a deep inhale through the nose and sighing it out. Very good. On your next inhale, you're gently going to walk your hands back, bring your upper body up, foot still in pigeon for a moment, and just noticing that space that you've created in your right hip. And then from here, you're going to lean onto the outside edge of your right hip and sweep your left foot forward. You're going to come into double pigeon on the opposite side, so your left foot and left knee is going to be below your right foot and right knee. So right foot stacks on top of left knee, right knee is on top of left foot. Both feet are flexed. And once again, if this is very tight for you, you're more than welcome to come into an easy seating pose with your right foot in front of your left shin. And then remove any flesh from underneath the sit bones. You're also welcome to prop yourself up onto a block and sit up straight, gently inching forward as your hips begin to externally rotate. And if you're in double pigeon and you haven't already begun to walk yourself forward, take an inhale, walking yourself forward, and as you exhale, sinking deep over those legs. Excellent. So it might be very intense here. Draw the breath directly into the area that you feel the most tension. Allow the breath to soothe and ease that stretch, and as you exhale, release any of that tension. Deep sighs are very important for working into the hips, so feel free to express that energy in any way you need see fit. And then continuing to lengthen forward as you inhale. As you exhale, sinking in a little bit deeper. Keeping the hip points plugged down into the ground. If you're comfortable here or semi-comfortable and you want to work on bringing your hands forward just a little bit, you can walk your fingertips forward, extending the arms, keeping the hip points plugged down. Draw the abdominal in. Allow the breath to lift and lengthen the heart forward. And as you exhale, sink deeper into your hips. If you have any knee pain, it's starting to creep up, gently walk yourself up a little bit and allow the tension to be released in your hips. Maybe switch or change the cross of the legs if you need to come out now. Feel free. Continuing to watch the breath travel in and out through the body. Allow your body to get heavier over your legs for one more inhale. As you exhale, walk yourself back up to seated. And then you're going to slide your right knee on top of your left knee, just pushing your knees together so they're stacked on top of each other, working into Gomukhasana. So if this is too much for you, you're more than welcome to stay in the Sukhasana. You can prop yourself up on blocks, but with the knees stacked on top of each other. Inhale, extend the arms out to the side. As you exhale, flip your right palm towards the back, bend your right elbow, and bring your right hand up your back. As you inhale, lift the left arm up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your left hand to meet your right behind your back. Take an inhale once your hands have met or you've grabbed your strap or grabbing onto the t-shirt, and roll the right shoulder point back. As you exhale, draw the abdominals in and begin to lean forward gently. Excellent. So noticing here where the stretch begins, staying with it, allowing the breath to soothe and ease. As you inhale, lengthening forward, rolling that left armpit down towards the ground and keeping the right hip coming up and back. Good. So with the abdominals drawn in, if you're able to do that now, draw the breath up into the heart. Notice how the stretch evolves when your abdominals are drawn in here. Continuing to sink over the legs, lengthening through that left elbow, drawing the right shoulder back in space. Inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Good. Couple more breaths here. Continuing to inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, sinking in. And then on your next inhale, inhale gently, come all the way back up. And as you exhale, put energy into your hands, release your fingertips, stretch the fingers wide, and then extend the arms out towards the side, continuing to reach through the fingertips. And then you're going to bring your hands, your arms forward in front of the body and cross your right elbow over your left elbow. Bend the elbows, bring the palms together or grab opposite wrists, and then exhale, bring your elbows down towards your body and bow your head into your chest. So really working on stretching the scapula in the upper back, the lats, drawing the breath into the upper back as the elbows sink into the body and the hands reach forward and away from the face. Continuing to breathe into the outer shoulder space. Softening the jaw. Draw the abdominals in and keep the spine long as you inhale, lift the elbows up. Excellent, and gently release. From here, you're going to walk yourself forward and roll over your knees. Coming into a plank pose, just stretching your legs out one by one, extending through the right leg. And then extending through the left leg. And then coming into plank pose for a moment, allowing the hips to sink low. Draw the abdominals deeply in. Allow the navel point to touch the spine as you lengthen through the heels and lengthen through the crown of the head, so you're extending in all directions. Awesome. Stay here for just another moment. Press your hands into the mat. Draw your chest in and your shoulder blades up. Inhale. Exhale, come back, downward facing dog. Roll the shoulders away from the ears and soften the neck. Allow the head to hang. Extend the heels down towards the mat. As you lengthen the hip bones up, draw the abdominals in. And then exhale, bring the knees down towards the mat and sit back, child's pose. Take a deep inhale here. Sigh it out. This is the end of your practice. Be sure to give yourself gratitude for showing up today, working on your lower back and hips. Thank you so much for checking in with this channel and supporting this passion of mine that I love doing. If you'd like, from Child's Pose, you're welcome to come into Shavasana for a few moments and rest here. Otherwise, I send love and blessings. Namaste.